Hey friend, it's Duc Tran and you are watching episode number 48 of the Code Mastery Show. In this show, we are going to talk about how to build a social network app using Firebase, and this is how the app will look like. We talk about how to authenticate users, log in users, and sign up users using anonymity. And then inside the app, we have a news feed of beautiful photos. Then we can compose a new post by posting a new photo with a caption inside the post. We can download a bunch of photos in our newsfeed. There's a lot of things that we need to talk about in this training. So the first step is to download your starter project and the complete project, the starter project, all the resources that I have for you, I prepare for you for this demo, for this training. So click the link right below this page. There'll be a link for you in the description. There, you go to my website, create a free account with us so that I can send you all of those resources. So now, download those, and without any further ado, let's get into the demo. Alright my friend, open up your starter project and let's get into it. If you haven't downloaded the starter project, download it in the description. There will be a link for you to download it. So this is how it looks like. I already designed the UI for you in the storyboard, and we have the login screen, we have a navigation for the news feed, and then when we click there, we can compose a new post. We'll show the camera, right? On the right hand side here is our complete project. So we open it up and we have the login screen. We can sign up with Facebook, which we will cover in another episode. But let's click login anonymous, and you see that we have tons of beautiful images. Well, of course, that's my image, so okay, a little bit maniac there. And then I can click this button to compose new post, and because I'm using the fancy simulator here, there's no camera, so it will show up the photo library. And then I can select a photo. I got a new photo here, okay? Now, trust me, it works on the phone, but currently right here, it's supposed to show up the image that we taken, right? It's blurred out a little bit, so it looks nice. But here, for some reason, the simulator got a bug. So, but trust me, it works. So I can paste in some text for the compose. I will share this photo, and look what happens in our database. In the database, not this guy, I think. Here we go. So this is a bunch of posts, and you see that the newest post I just posted, right? So it updated over here, the database, we use it Firebase. And then if I scroll up like that, and you see the latest post with the beautiful caption, just like that, right? Pretty nice. So let's get over our start project and let's give it a run. So the start project, the initial view controller will be the login view controller. We'll talk about how to integrate all of those stuff. So when we click here, nothing happened just right now, right? So the first step is we need to integrate several Firebase frameworks or libraries, and then script the JSON, because all the data in Firebase is structured in JSON format, which is pretty much like dictionary in Swift, right? So this is the database, what we call the real-time database. It has the root reference. A reference simply means like the location in the database, and you can access it just like you access a dictionary, okay? So here we have the posts key, and then we have the video post key. And then within those key are key value pairs. Key value pairs. Here we have a key value pair. This is the key, a random key, the key value pair. Okay, this is another dictionary. And then this dictionary, which is the post, has the caption, has the image download URL. The same goes for all other posts. Okay. So I hope that it makes sense, and it's a very fast introduction for you on Firebase. Now, if you don't know Firebase, this is not a sponsored video. This is not an advertisement video or anything. It's just that I love their services, and it's real easy to use, and it's really inexpensive, even if your app grows really big. And by big, I mean like hundreds of thousands of users and millions of users, and it's still very inexpensive. So you can go to firebase.google.com, sign up for a new account, goes to the console, add a new project. Okay, so let me do upload photos demo like that, and then we'll create a new project. Let's create it like this. Here we go. It will take some time to do it, so I will see you when the project is complete. Here we go. This is our Firebase dashboard. Now over here you'll see there's a bunch of options. We will talk about that as we roll. But right now, let's click over here and you'll see the add Firebase to your iOS app. Then I'll go over my Xcode over here, click like this, goes into our project, copy the bundle identifier, goes over here, and register the app. Okay. Now, once you register in step number 2, they will give you a configuration file. So download this file. Now, very careful here is that this file, if you have this file, it will give you the access, because obviously I already have a file like this. So I'm going to rename this guy like that. Oh, already got that. So let me copy this guy, put that over our dashboard like this. Okay. Oh, by the way, I have a new fancy wallpaper. I hope that I'm really proud of it because I created it. Okay. Then you just copy this guy over here like this. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you are using Xcode 9, I really believe that there's a bug in Xcode 9, so you have to manually like add the file. So you right click here and then add files to the folder, and then goes into my desktop, add this file, and boom, here we go. So we have that guy. Now, do not share this file with anyone else, okay? Especially when your app runs when public, because with this file, anyone can get access to your Firebase database. So do not share this file, okay? Now the next step and the last step is to install CocoaBots. So what you can do is close out this project. Let's close it. I will hide out this window, and then you'll see over here my project. Okay, open up terminal. If you don't know how to open terminal, just goes here and goes into utilities, and you'll find the terminal. And then let me increase the font here. Now, if you don't have CocoaBots yet, all it means is that it's a way for you to manage all the libraries, all the frameworks, it called dependencies, without having to like manually do that. So let's go cd, which, oh, by the way, if you don't install CocoaBots yet, typing in sudo gem install CocoaBots like this and press enter. It will ask you for your MacBook password, so enter that. And then now I'm going to cd, hold this guy a little bit, drag this folder over here and press enter. Goes into the folder, and then let's typing in pod init. We'll initialize a new pod file like that, and you see over here we have a pod file, right? And then let me open this guy with Xcode like this. You can use any text editor, but I'm going to uncomment this line, which will delete the pound sign. Okay, platform iOS 9, that's good. And then below our pods for Firebase Photos demo here, let's typing in pod Firebase / core, which is the core framework for Firebase, and then pod Firebase / storage, which we use to store images, videos, or any files, and then pod Firebase / auth, which is authentication, whether you want to use like Google, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, or email password, or even anonymous login. That is this framework. And then pod Firebase / database, which we use to store real-time database, which means that like all devices who subscribe to a data collection or data point in your database will get updated immediately when the data changes. And then pod Swifty JSON allows us to very easily parse JSON in iOS, which is the data in the database. Okay, save it, and then goes back here. I'm going to type pod install to install all of those dependencies or frameworks, and it says success. And now it says please close any current Xcode sessions and use the Xcode workspace instead. So goes back here and you see this white icon. I know for some of you already know about Xcode, so I'll go fast here, but a few of you don't know, so that's why I go a little bit step by step over here. I hope that you enjoy. So here I'm going to double click on this guy, switch to the fancy iPhone 10 like that, put that on to the right over here, okay, to have a little space. All right, so that is that. Now we have the Firebase demo. So next one goes to your app delegate. Increase the font size for you like that. Import Firebase. Then inside the app that finished launching with options, typing in Firebase app.configure like this. Now let's run it for the first time. So once we run it over here, oh, by the way, we need to open this guy, not right now, but when you goes into the console like this, okay, it runs, and there we go. Now you see, if you scroll up, there will be some things like enable, debug logging set, all of those things, FIR analytics, debug enabled. It means that everything is set up. It means that it is good to go, okay? So let me show you one example of how to write to the database. So you see that goes into your database here. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about authentication first, okay? Because you need to log in before you can write into the database is the default rule. So it goes into your Firebase dashboard, authentication, and then sign in method. And then over the anonymous, I'm going to edit this guy, enable the anonymous login, and save. Okay, and then goes over here, goes into our, you see there's a login view controller. This login view controller, I already have two IB actions for you. We will use the first one, login anonymously, the tab, which is the action that will get triggered when this login anonymously button, the tab. Okay, now at that time, let's import Firebase. Every time you want to use Firebase, import it, okay? And then I'm going to use auth.auth like this, and then .sign in anonymously. And then the completion here, press enter. It gives you an user and the error. We don't need to use the user here because it is an auth anonymous. So I'm going to check if the error is nil. If the error is nil, meaning that we successfully sign in anonymously, okay? Then I'm going to perform the segue to trigger the segue so that I'm going to jump from this guy to this guy to show the newsfeed, because once the user log in successfully, we want to show the newsfeed. So self.perform segue with identifier, and the segue is show newsfeed. The sender, let's put that nil. Okay, you see that? All right, now over here, let's print out the user to make sure that we got some user, right? Just to prove it to you that we logged in successfully. All right, so now let's show it. Here we go, log in. Boom, we have it, log in. Pretty cool, huh? And then you have the optional FIR user over here. See that? So it's like 3 lines of code, 1, 2, 3. 3 lines of code to log in anonymously. And if you do it, user and password, I already have a training for you on the channel how to do that. So check that out. Okay. So now let's go ahead into the next step. The next step, where is that? Here we go. I think log in anonymously. The next step for our complete project here is we want to click over here the camera button, and we show this guy, right? And then we show pops up the camera, in this case the photos library, okay? And then we can select the photos, we can have fancy images. Now if you don't have the images, well, if you don't want to prepare for them, then inside the project folder, when you download it, the starter project, the complete project, some trainings, you'll find some demo images. All you have to do is drag all of these guys over here to the simulator. and then you have those images imported immediately into the simulator photos library, which is cool, right? So now what we want to do is that we want to show up the camera, and here we go. Let's show you once again the workflow of our, oh, not this guy, this guy. Here we go. Shows it up, and we'll, oh, this is the complete project, I think, the starter project. So we'll show the camera, right? So now inside the camera is the new post view controller class. New post view controller class. Here you'll see that we don't do anything. We just have a post image view. Let's run this guy. We have the post image view and the caption text view. Post image view and the caption text view. And then we have the placeholder for the text, just like that, nothing special, right? We just have these things to set up the UI. And then this guy is for the little, a really nice trick for you to set the placeholder text for the text view. Okay, because if you know about text view, it's really nice way for you to type in like multiple lines of code, like multiple lines of text like that, but it doesn't have the default placeholder text like the label, so or the text field. So it's such a bumper, but you can do it like this. Okay, check it out. A few lines of code, very neat way. So now let's show up the camera. I'm going to put out a comment here, camera stuff, and then var, let's store a image picker, which is a UIImagePickerController, like that. And then let's, all right, then in the view will appear method, let's call the super.view will appear animated like this. Okay, I'm going to show just the very simple version of showing the camera, and then let's create an image picker equals to UIImagePickerController like that, and then we check if the UIImagePickerController is source typed available. And the source type available here, we check if the camera is available. If the camera is available, let's set the image picker dot source typed to be the camera, and then the camera typed, the camera capture mode to be photo, so that the user will take a photo, right? Otherwise here, if the camera is not available, then let's just simply use the image picker dot source type is our .photo library. Okay, and then very simply we are going to self.present the image picker, and animated is true, completion is nil, like that. You know what, let me change the animated to false just to see how it looks like. And then now let's run it, and hopefully we got a camera. Let's see, log in, shows it, and then we got the camera, right? Oh, you know what, I think this is, let's put that true, looks better. Okay, here we go, and we see that we can select the image, but right now when we select the image, nothing happened. And the next thing is, if you see that if I cancel it, not, it will, it shows the camera again. Why is that? Why is that? I cancel it, it should like immediately call the dismissed, but it shows the camera again. What the heck is that? Well, because we just called this guy in view will appear, right? Now if we did that in view did load, like this, it will be just called once. So now let's run it once again. Here we go, log in. Open this guy up and cancel. It doesn't show up, right? Because the view will appear gets called every time like the view is going to appear, right? All right, so now we have the view did load, and we show the camera like this. Okay, pretty neat. A few lines of code, right? But now once the camera is shown, and then we want to, let's cancel it again. Like this. Once the camera is shown, we want to select a photo, but nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Alright, I think it's crashed or there's a bug. Okay, so how can we do this? How can we make sure that we take the photo? Well, the way you do that is you set the ImagePicker.delegate to be ourself, which is this class. And then we'll need to implement the, goes over here, let's create an extension for our new post view controller, and we implement UIImagePickerController delegate and UI navigation control, UI navigation controller delegate, like this. Two things, right? So the first one we want to do is a method called ImagePickerController did finish picking media with info. The next one is ImagePickerController did cancel. If it did cancel, let's just dismiss. Dismiss true nil. Okay. Alright. So we dismiss it. Okay, makes sense. Now, inside here in our ImagePickerController, let's get our image. So the way you do that is let's create let's image to be the info at UIImagePickerController original image. That is a key, what's that? A constant. And then we cast it as an UI image. Alright. And then, you know what? Let's store this image above here. Let's store this image above here. var taken image to be a UI image. Okay? So let's store that. Self.taken image to be this image. Right? And then we do self.postImageView.image to be our self.taken image, which is this little background here, but it doesn't show up on the simulator. And then what's a bumper? And then dismiss true completion is nil. Alright, now let's run it and see how it looks like. Here we go. Log in anonymously. Run this guy. We have the photo. Let's select this. Oh, it shows! Come on! Nice. Well, I tested for so many times, but this time, for some reason, it runs, which is awesome. Here we go. You see that? Pretty nice, huh? Alright. You know what? Let me try this and set the opacity of the overlay view to be like a little bit more dark. It looks better on the text. So background, let's choose like 50%. Okay. Run it once again. Here we go. Yeah, I like it. Lock in. Open this gap. Let's take a photo. Something like this. New York, and boom. Well, I like it. Wow. Okay. So the next one is let's post this new post on the screen. I'm sorry, to Firebase, because now we have selected an image. We have the, what was this here? The text, the caption of the post. Click over here. We want to share this post to our Firebase database. How can we do that? Well, to do that, let's talk first about how to write to Firebase database. Open up this guy, goes into database like this, okay? And the way that you do that is number one, create a reference to the database. Now, when I talk about reference, all it means is that it's kind of like a connection to database. So let's, in your app delegate, let's just test it out. Application did finish launching with options here. Let a what is that? Let database reference to be database dot reference. Okay, and then let's say like example child reference equals to database reference, and I want to add a child into this get started. So what I want to do is to come on, refresh. Okay, so what I want to do is create a child like this. The child name is like example, and then the value is like 1, 2, 3, and then I add the value. Okay, you see that? So let's delete this guy, and we have dot child with the key as example like this. Okay, so that we have a new key into the database, but the new key will not be created unless it has some values. So the way that you can set the value is just to call the reference dot set value. Very simple. And then the value you can set numbers, array, dictionary, or any object. You can do that. Okay, so here like 1, 2, 3, like this. And then now let's run it, and you'll see that as soon as the app runs, there will be something cool happen. Runs, and on the left, boom! You see that? Immediately it will get updated, and we have example 1, 2, 3. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I like it. So that's the way that you do it, right? So let's delete this thing because we don't want to create that dummy thing every time. Now, let's talk about how to create a new post. Inside the post.script, let's create a class called post, like that. Now, what does a post have? Well, I have a caption, which is a string, and it has a image download var image download URL, which is, let's use a string optional. Okay, and then let's initialize this post with an image, which is UIImage, and the caption is a string. Now we need to store this image somewhere locally to save it. So to do that, I'm going to create a private var image UIImage. Okay, then here we do self.image to be image, and self.caption to be the caption. You see that? Now you may ask, why is it that you use private var here? Why is it private? Well, because this class here, we are going to use this class to download the post too. Now, at the time of downloading the post, we only have the caption and the image download URL. We don't have the image yet because we don't want to download the image immediately. We only want to download the image when we show the post. Here's what I mean by that. Okay, come on. Here we go, Firebase photo, login. So you see that in the complete project, you see that at first, these are like big images, right? So not like small images, they're actually big. So as soon as we show the cell, it downloads the image, not like it will download everything at once. So we only download the image when we see the image cell, the post cell. Okay, so at that time, this will be nil, like it doesn't have it, and we don't want to use it publicly. That's why we do that private, just to store it inside the class, and we'll save the image to Firebase. Okay, we don't use it outside. All right, now let's talk about how to save this guy. So to save it, let's import Firebase, and then let's have a function called save, like this. Okay, and then inside this save, the first step is to create a new database reference. Okay, number 2, we need to create a new storage reference. Now, the way we do this is because uploading or saving a photo takes longer than saving some text. Obviously, right? Some text is like several bytes. But saving a photo is like 1, 2, 3 megabytes. That is like much larger, takes much longer, right? So the way we do that is we will, number 3 is save the image to the storage first. Okay. Then number 4, after we do that, number 4 we'll do is save the post, caption, and download URL. You see that? So, number 1, create a new database reference. Let new post reference equals to database.database.reference, like that. Okay, follow along. And then we call the child immediately. And I want to have a child called posts. Okay, well, you know what? Let's do photo post. Okay, And then let's do child by auto ID. Now, this child by auto ID will create for us a new child key, and it will generate a new like random ID for us without us to have like post 1, post 2, post 3. It will just be random. We don't need that actually. But I want to keep the key. So let's new post key equals to new post ref dot key, which is this child by auto ID over here. Right? The reason why we want to keep the key is we want to get the storage reference to be storage dot reference, and then we do child like this. So the child we want to do is save the images. Okay, so images, storage ref, image storage ref, like this. All right, and then let's do storage new image ref equals to our image storage ref dot child. Now you see that this thing here, we need to give it a child, and why don't we keep the child of the new post key? And we know that the key is going to be like the address of the image will be the key of the post. Okay, just like it is just a way to design the database in Firebase. Cool. All right, now step number 3 is we want to save the image to the storage. To do that, we need to convert the image from UIImage to data. So if let image data equals to UIImage JPEG representation, and here let's save the image, right? Self.image, and then the compression quality here, let me use 0.6 just so that it is faster for us to upload. Okay, now in other cases in the real world, what happens is that they will actually upload like nearly the correct size or maybe the full size of the image, and then once it's saved to the cloud, then the server will run some what we call server code or cloud code. The cloud code, what it does is that it will convert the image into different sizes. So we have like the thumbnail size, like the low resolution size, the medium resolution size, and the high res size. Okay, that's what happened. So here, the image data, we got that, and then we'll cut this guy in here. We create a new reference if we do get the data. Okay, then now let's save the image to the storage. So let me cut this guy, put it over here. So save the image to the storage. The way you do that is, again, call the image, and then because we want to put the data, like save the data, we don't call the set value, but we call the new image ref dot put data. Pretty simple, right? So put the data, and we have the image data. Now we want to observe the status or like the progress of this upload, so we can observe the success. If it is successful, then it will call this handler or a closure, and it gives us a snapshot like this. It gives us a snapshot. Okay, then in here, let's create the number 4 here, right? We need to save the post caption and download URL. But where's this download URL? Where's this download URL? Now, I know that I'm going a rant here because there's a lot to talk about here. We'll recap in just a moment. But let's talk about this download URL. So the way we do that is let's self.download image download URL to be the snapshots.metadata, and then download URL, okay, and then absolute string, so that we have the string. Cool. All right, so now let's recap it. Okay, let's recap it. Number 1, we want to create a new database reference so that we will create a key and we'll use to save the post. Okay, we'll use this guy below here too. Number 2, we convert the image into data. We create a new storage reference. The storage is this guy here, not database. Database is only for text and numbers and arrays and dictionaries and those things. But the file, the images, the video, the file, any kind like audio, then that is in the storage. Okay, to store large file, not text. Alright, so to do that, we create a new storage reference with the images key, and then for that specific image, we create a new child key, which is the new post key that we create over here. We save that by calling the reference.putData. We put in the image data. We observe the success key. When it's successfully to upload the image, it will call this handler back. Okay? And then we have the image download URL. You see that? All right. Now, if you notice, we now have the caption. We now have the download URL. Let's construct a new post dictionary to be a dictionary with the key number 1 is image download URL. Now, pay attention here. If you do this key like wrong, then later on when you download things and you parse this dictionary, it will be like a mess to debug. So be really careful here, okay? And then we do self.download image download URL. Okay, and then caption is our self.caption. Okay, so now we got the new post dictionary. Now let's save it. To save it, we use the new post ref here, dot set value, and then we pass in the new post dictionary. Okay. All right. Now I know that I go like really fast here, but although you can follow along, and if you need to, feel free to like rewind it for the last 15 minutes and watch how we do this once again. It's really important. Okay. Now, we have the post now, so why don't we upload the post, right? Test this class out. To do that, in the new post view controller class, once we get the where is that? Once we get this image picker controller, once we get the image picker controller, right? Then let's implement the shaded tab, right? Once the shaded tab, we will upload the photo, we'll upload the post, right? So when we upload the post, let's check if the text view, if the caption text view dot text is not empty, or and the caption text view dot text is not the caption text view placeholder text view placeholder text. Okay, it's such a weird name. And then and we check if the taken image is not nil too. We want to make sure that we got the caption and we got the caption and we got the image. Okay, if we do, then let's create a new post equals to post with an image. The image is taken image. The caption is caption text view dot text. Right, now let's go new post dot save. You see that? And then let's self dot dismiss true, completion is nil. We dismiss it. Okay, now let's run it and see how it looks like. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Log in anonymously. Goes over here. Upload the first photo ever. This is New York guy. I'm going to paste this over here and share this photo. Now, nothing shows up here. Obviously, we didn't do anything with a newsfeed, which we'll do in just a moment. But if you look at this, we got the photo post. How awesome is that? It means that we successfully did it. So then we have this guy, and if you see that we have the caption, the image, download URL, double click over here, you can copy this guy, paste it over here, and notice that we have the quotation mark here. Delete that, and delete the quotation mark over here, press enter, like that, and you see that it downloads a file. And if I double click onto that, and it is this file. And you see this is like a big file over here, right? So we got the image. And now if you go into the storage, Get started. Okay, got it. Okay, and then we got the images, which is the key in the post here. We got the images, so we create a new reference, and then we got the post key as a new child in the reference, right? You see the new child here. Now, if you look at this guy, this ends with like ZUM, and in database, the key of the new post ends with ZUM, which is that exact key. You see that? Because we use the same key, new post key, as the key for the new image, right? And it goes over here, we see that we have a new image. Click over here, and this is like 1.4 megabytes. You see that? And then we have the file location and other metadata. We have the download URL, the location of the storage, all those things. That is how you do it. Upload the photo. So now, let's move on into the next part, the last part of our training. And that is how to, three things. Number one, download stuff from the database. Number two, download the image from the storage. And number three, populate those things to the table view. Let's talk about downloading a bunch of posts. So it goes to your newsfeed table view controller. We don't have anything here yet. So let's implement, or let's override the mark UITableView data source here. And let's have the number of sections is we return 1. We don't need to implement this, but because by default it is already 1. And yeah, we need to override this method. Then the number of where's that? The gosh, it's just a little bit out of number of rows right off my head. Number of rows in the section. Right now, let's return 10, and then let's do cell for row at index path like this. And to do that, we will need to dequeue a new cell. Now, if you go into the photo table view cell, we have the post image view, caption label, shadow, background view already set up for you. All these things, it's just like some IB outlet, and it sets the shadow for the background view, the little caption view. So nothing fancy there. We'll do everything from scratch. So let's the cell to be our table view dot dequeue usable cell with identifier. Our identifier here is the photo cell for this index path, and let's cast that as our photo table view cell, and we just return the cell. Okay, we just return it. Now let's run the project and let's see how it looks like. Let's run the app. There you go. Firebase log in anonymously, and we have a bunch of posts, right? But if you go into, we don't see the image. The reason is I didn't set it. So what you can do is set the image here into BG gradient to have the background gradient like that. Here we go. Log in anonymously, and we have tons and tons and tons of images. All right, so our job now, I will set this background back to an empty image. Okay, so our job now is to download tons of posts. So inside the view did load, let's do that view did load here, super.view did load like this. I'm going to download the post. So a few steps. Number one, we need to create a reference to the post in the database. Okay. Number two, we need to parse each of the post. And number three, we need to update the table view. Okay. 3 steps. This is from the database, right? This is to update the UI. Always like that. So we have the data and we have the table view, right? The UI. And if you use collection view, then that is collection view. If you use your own controller, that is your own controller, right? Okay, so now reference to the posts in the database. So let's create that reference. Let's you know what? Let's create it immediately. Database. We didn't have import Firebase like that, and database. Okay, and then here we need to add the reference, right? The reference, and we need to add the child. The child, we want to use the photo post because we want to download a tons of posts from this key. So let's dot child photo posts like this. Okay, and then I want to observe the event type of dot child added like this, and then it will give us a snapshot. Press enter and it got a data snapshot. Now let's explain this a little bit over here. Okay, so this child here will get the reference to the photos post, and when this thing will give us the reference to the database. And when we call the .observe method on the reference, and with the event is .child added, every time a new child added to this key photo post, it will get downloaded over here and put into the snapshot. Okay, let me say that once again. Very important. When we call the observe.child added like this, when a new key value pairs is added into this photo post, which is the key that we set over here, this closure will get called, and the data of that child, which is this guy, will get put into this snapshot. So that's the first one. The first one, it will get called 2 times. Number one is this gets called for each of the existing child, and number two, B, it will get called whenever a new child is added to the parent or like key the photo post. Okay, and the data will put into this snapshot. Make sense? So now if I print out this snapshot dot value, and hopefully we will see some data. Okay, so let's see it. Here we go. And we got the data. You see that? So we have one post, right? And we have the image URL, and we have the caption, which is this guy. Image URL is this guy. Yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah. So that value here is actually, the value there is actually a dictionary. It is a dictionary, right? So we can have it over here. So now let me upload some new photos so that we got some data to work with, like this. We share some caption, share this photo. Let's upload once more. Okay. This guy. Oh, gosh. All right, so let's see. It's just happened sometimes like this. It's not crash, right? It doesn't crash, but let's run it once again. That query thing is not crash. Log in. Let's run it once again. Here we go. Let's upload this guy. Paste. Share. Okay, so we have a few. All right, let's do one last one. So let's do the beach, and got the post. Paste it. Okay, we share it. Now we have 4 posts over here. Looks pretty good. And then you'll see that there's tons of things, right? So now you'll see that as soon as I rerun the project, okay? I rerun the project like this. Okay, anonymously the view did load, and you see that it will get called for 1 post, 2 posts, 3 posts, and 4 posts. You see that? So it means that it will get called every time it gets, like the first time, right, for each of the posts. And then the second time it gets called is whenever a new child is added to the parent key. So that we can test it very easily. So let me put this guy on the right like this. Okay, and notice what happens on the left. So if I click a new child here, that's example. The value, okay, just some text. At the end, you see this, right? That is this value over here. Of course, I want to delete that because that is like corrupted data. All right, so don't you see that? All right, awesome. So now It means that we got some data. But the problem is now this question over here. How can we parse each of the post? How can we parse it from this data snapshot? But we know that the snapshot.value is a dictionary that contains all the information that we put into the post. You see, when we save the post, remember the post? When we save it, we construct this dictionary. Now we are returned from the snapshot. So in the post class, create a snapshot. The type is data snapshots like this. Okay. Then I want to use import Scripty JSON over here, like that. And then we want to get let's JSON is JSON snapshots.value, like that. Okay. Then all I have to do now is to parse the data from the JSON. The JSON now is in JSON format. So, or actually an instance of this JSON. Then let's do self.image. I'm sorry, self.image download URL is our JSON at image download URL. Be really careful with this guy. And then dot string value. Okay. And then let's do caption, self.caption to be JSON at caption.string value, like that. You see this? All right. Okay. Now this string value here, I really believe that if it is nil, then it will return an empty string. Okay. All right. So now we got that initializer, a new initializer for our post, goes into a newsfeed. And then for each of this snapshot, let's new post to be a post with the snapshot of this snapshot, right? Then we just have to keep track of an array of posts. So var post is an empty array of post at first. See this? Okay. Then below here, whenever we got a new post, we can do post dot append where's that new post, right? And then we update the table view. How can we update the table view? Well, we just go self.tableview.reload data. See that? Okay. All right. Now, at this time, in this closure, that is off the main queue. But the tail view stuff here, it is on the main queue. So what we need to do is, we need to dispatch queue.main.async to get back to the main queue. And we put this code over here. Okay, so that we are on the main queue. You see that? Alright, now when we have a bunch of posts, let's change our data source from 10 return post count, like that. Okay, and we'll configure this in just a moment. Now let's run the project and see how it looks like. At least we have an idea of that, how many posts that we have. Remember that we have 4 posts over here, right? Log in, downloading some stuff, and we have 1 over here, 2 over here, 4 over here, and 5 over there, right? Okay, now this is okay, but if let's try, and I'm going to like put this image in, okay, paste that and share the photo. All right, and then you'll see that it will update it, but we don't see it really over here because it doesn't have any text. Okay, but the problem I want to issue is though that when we reload the table view like this, it will create a flash effect. Like it will just immediately reload everything, and that is not really user friendly because sometimes the user will lose track of the scrolling stuff. So to do that, we need to insert the new post to the beginning of the feed. Right, so to do that, let's do self.post. Insert the new post at the index 0, like that. And then let's construct the index path is index path for the row is 0 and the section is 0. And the reason why we want to do this index path is because we want to do self.tableview. Self.tableview insert rows at an array of this index path alone with the animation. Let's do top. Okay, you see that? Okay, and then it was like, it's like kind of like sliding the new post into that. Okay, so now let's continue to do with downloading the post so that we see the effects really clearly. Okay, so we have a bunch of posts, and now let's do cell.post to be self.post at index path.row. Of course, we don't have the post in the cell yet. It's waiting for you to do that. So now let's have inside the photo table view cell, let's have a var post is a post, like that. And whenever this guy gets this set, I'm going to call self.update UI. You see? Alright, now when the updates UI here, let's first change the caption. Self.caption label.text to be the post.caption. That's easy. Alright, so now let's run the project and we'll see how it goes. Here we go. Login. Downloading. Oh, we got an error over here. Let's see what it is. We got an error. And scroll up, terminating app due to uncaught exception. Reason is, oh, invalid number of rows in section 0. The number of rows is this in section after update 5. Oh, okay. Let's see. It means that this thing, we insert these sections. There's something over here wrong with this. We insert the rows at this index path. That's cool. Let's move this guy all in the main queue and let's see how it goes. Okay. Table view, new post. Right. Now, when we call the insert rows, it will update the table view already, so we don't have to reload the data. But here we go. You see that? So it works now. It means that this thing right here, we need to do that on the main queue. Otherwise, it will got like some weird. It's not really the problem here because this is off the main queue, so it's not like UI-wise, it will not synchronously do it correctly for us. Okay, I hope that you got it. All right, so we have a bunch of things. So now it means that everything is good, right? Oh, by the way, this thing selection sucks. So in here, cell.selection style to be .none. Like this. Okay, now let's go back into the photo table view cell and do our last job. That is download the cell photo. The post photo. To do that, let me do it quite fast here. Number one, let's do import Firebase. Okay, then import Firebase in the cell photo here. Let the image download URL to be the post.image download URL. If we got that, then let's create. Now you remember when we download a bunch of posts. Do you remember when we download a bunch of posts? Yeah, when we download a bunch of posts, what we did is, number one, we create a storage reference, right? Number two, we call some like observe method to download the data, right? And number three, we put the image to the image view or the UI, right? You see that? This is image view. So 3 steps. Number one, let's create the reference. Let's image storage ref is our storage.reference. Now this guy, I don't want to use this reference, but I want to use the reference for the URL of our image download URL, and it will just like magically construct for us the reference because this URL is in a very nice formatted that it will recognize the pattern. Okay, and then observe method image storage ref, and we call .get data, the get data method, and we need to provide what is the maximum size that you want to download. Here I want to download like 2 megabytes, so 2 times 1024 times 1024, So that's 2 megabytes. The completion, press enter, and we get the data, we get the error, right? And then if we got the error, let's print out the error here. There's something here, error, downloading image. And then we got the error in the, what's that? String interpolation, right? Otherwise, it's a success, right? So here, if let image data to be our data, which is this guy, we check to make sure that we get the data. Then let's the image to be UI image with the data of image data. You see that? Then now, we want to get this image back to the UI, which is this step 3 over here. But to do that, remember that is UI code. We need to dispatch queue again. Dispatch queue.main.async, right? And then we put this thing over here like that. And then self.post.image.view.image to be image. Let's see. All right. You see that? Okay. Now, because this is like memory-wise, right? Because this cell will get reused or gets discarded. I'm going to use quick self here, and to do that, we are going to have question mark. And now, let's run it, and hopefully, finger crossed, and see how it looks like. I hope that it works. Here we go. Log in anonymously, and boom! Well done, guys. Well, of course, obviously, like 2 images with the back. Nothing fun over there. Okay, let's see that. Wow, I like it. Yeah, I really like it. And now, if you look at above here, okay, above here, if I will scroll to the top, and then if I post a new post, let's post a new one, the last one here, put it, paste over here, and I share this photo, and then wait for a second. You see that? Is it magical? Well, if you don't think that this is magical, then I don't think what else is. This is quite damn magical. Alright, my friend, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I know this can be like a little bit longer kind of episode because we talk about a lot, and at first I thought that I could just like build a simple app to show you how to share photos on the web, but it scales into like a nearly full-blown social network app. So I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. So if you love this, can you do me 2 favors? Number 1, subscribe to the channel. The button is right below here or here. Subscribe to the channel so that every single week I can continue to deliver free training video tutorials for you right here on this channel. And number 2, what we love to do for you is I have a video series training course called How to Build Real-World Apps like Instagram, Facebook Messenger, Nike e-commerce store, and Facebook. How to do all of that, how to design, build, implement, and test those apps. Well, I would love to share with you how I did that. So if you would love to do that, just click the link right below this page on the description. There will be a link for you to download not only the resources for this episode, but also I will send you all of those trainings as well. So my friend, thank you so much for watching the Code Mastery Show. I'll catch you next time on the show. Until then, go out there every single day of your life, learn new things, craft your ideas, and contribute to the world. I see ya.